In a stunning display of wit and sharp humor, Hollywood legends Morgan Freeman and Johnny Depp recently took a swing at Melania and Donald Trump, using nothing more than a single word to deliver a savage blow. Known for their commanding presence and quick wit, both stars turned a casual appearance into a powerful commentary on the Trump presidency. Freeman, with his trademark voice, and Depp, with his eccentric charm, left the audience roaring with laughter as they cut through the noise of politics with a simplicity that spoke volumes. The message was clear. Even the smallest jab can dismantle the grandiose theatrics of the Trump era. Melania Trump under the spotlight. Comedy, criticism, and a cultural phenomenon. When Donald Trump was elected President of the United States, it marked the beginning of a new and chaotic chapter in American political history. But beyond the political landscape, there was another story unfolding. One involving his wife, Melania Trump, who found herself thrust into the public eye as First Lady in ways few could have predicted. Melania, with her reserved demeanor and calm composure, quickly became a figure of intense scrutiny and intrigue. While Donald Trump, with his larger-than-life persona, commanded much of the media attention, Melania's role in his presidency became the subject of endless speculation, jokes, and even mockery. Enter Hollywood, where some of the biggest stars in the world, Johnny Depp and Morgan Freeman, took their turns at roasting Melania in the most entertaining yet biting ways. These moments, though humorous, served as a deeper commentary on not just Melania, but the absurdity of her husband's presidency, and how satire and comedy can disarm authority figures by exposing their inflated egos. The world watched in a mix of fascination and disbelief as these comedic legends laid bare the contradictions, ironies, and absurdities of the Trump administration. Their jokes didn't just serve as light-hearted banter, they became a vehicle for political commentary. Through these performances, Depp and Freeman didn't just roast Melania, they exposed a deeper, uncomfortable truth about the spectacle that was Donald Trump's presidency. Johnny Depp, a pirate's roasting of Melania. Johnny Depp, the eccentric and unpredictable actor known for his portrayal of Captain Jack Sparrow, is no stranger to stirring up controversy. His own life and career have been filled with twists and turns, but in the world of comedy, Depp is a master of mixing humor with sharp political commentary. At a high-profile gala event, Depp found himself on stage, his signature pirate hat tilted just right, preparing to take a jab at one of the most talked-about women in America, Melania Trump. From the moment he stepped up to the microphone, the audience knew something memorable was coming. The actor, with his characteristic flair, started by remarking, "If there was ever a trophy wife who deserved an Oscar for Best Supporting Role, it's Melania Trump." The crowd erupted in laughter, fully aware that Depp was not just joking about Melania's role as the First Lady, but was simultaneously poking fun at her role as Donald Trump's accessory, a constant presence next to him while he spewed controversial rhetoric and policies. Depp continued, his voice dripping with mock sincerity. "She plays the long-suffering First Lady so convincingly, I half expect her to break out into a monologue about surviving shipwrecks next." The comparison to a shipwreck was particularly poignant, given the rocky and often chaotic nature of the Trump presidency. Melania's poised, composed image stood in stark contrast to the storm of controversy that followed her husband's every move. Depp's comments, though humorous, reflected a growing sentiment that Melania was playing a role, not just in her marriage, but in an administration that was, for many, deeply problematic. But Depp wasn't finished. With a twinkle in his eye, he took another jab, this time focusing on Melania's fashion choices. "And let's talk about her fashion choices," Depp quipped. Every time she walks out in one of those power suits, it feels like she's on the state of North Carolina. Shocking. I'm over here, pretending not to notice my husband acting like a toddler. The remark about Melania's attire struck a chord with many. While she had been praised for her polished and elegant wardrobe, Depp's comment highlighted the absurdity of how a First Lady's public image was often reduced to her clothing choices rather than her substantive role. In the context of the Trump administration, where policy often took a back seat to spectacle, Melania's role seemed almost secondary. A silent figure standing by her husband's side, attempting to maintain a semblance of dignity while he tore down democratic norms. Depp leaned in closer to the microphone, his voice lowering as if sharing a secret with the audience. Honestly, though, can you blame her? He mused. If I had to walk arm in arm with someone whose ego could sink the Titanic, I'd probably rock the icy blonde hair too. The statement was a direct dig at Trump, whose notoriously inflated ego had often been the subject of both media coverage and public ridicule. Depp's words underscored the strangeness of Melania's position, caught in a marriage with a man whose public persona often overshadowed everything and everyone around him. The crowd was in stitches, but the underlying point was clear. Depp wasn't simply making fun of Melania's fashion or demeanor. He was critiquing the entire political circus surrounding her husband's presidency. Morgan Freeman, the deep voice of wisdom and wit, enter. Morgan Freeman, one of the most respected actors in Hollywood, known for his deep, soothing voice that seems capable of turning even the most mundane statements into profound revelations. Freeman, too, couldn't resist taking his own turn at roasting Melania Trump. But unlike Depp's playful humor, Freeman's remarks came with a layer of gravitas. As the room fell silent in anticipation, Freeman took the stage with his signature calm and authoritative presence, ready to deliver a perfectly timed punchline. Freeman began, "Let me paint you a picture. Imagine being Melania Trump. You're married to a guy who thinks he's the star of his own reality show. And guess what? He is. Except now, instead of hosting a game show, he's running the country. And trust me, that's scarier than any pirate adventure Johnny Depp could dream up." Freeman's voice dropped in pitch as he let the words sink in. The comparison to a reality show was a biting commentary on Trump's presidential campaign, which had often been likened to a television spectacle rather than a serious political movement. Freeman's subtle jab at Trump's self-aggrandizing behavior was a reminder of the absurdity of it all. The idea that someone with no prior political experience could rise to the highest office in the land largely due to his status as a reality TV star. Freeman paused for dramatic effect, allowing the weight of his words to settle in. Then came the knockout punchline. Melania's job description basically reads, "Stand next to a man who talks louder than God, and try to look dignified while doing it. If that's not the definition of strength, I don't know what is." The room erupted into applause, and Freeman's ability to blend humor with insightful commentary was on full display. The message was clear. Melania's role as First Lady wasn't just about public appearances or photo ops. It was about enduring the daily spectacle that was Donald Trump. And just when it seemed Freeman had said it all, he added another layer. And let's not forget her famous quote, "Be kind and stop bullying." "Oh, sweet irony, where art thou?" he said with a sly grin. Because clearly, Melania has been living inside a Trump rally for 4 years, and somehow she still managed to stay classy. The irony was hard to miss. While Trump's rallies were often filled with divisive rhetoric and insults, Melania, in her quiet and dignified way, had become a symbol of grace amidst the chaos, at least on the surface. But Freeman's comment made a compelling point. How could anyone, let alone Melania, maintain dignity when surrounded by the tumultuous whirlwind of her husband's presidency. Satire as a tool of political commentary. What makes Depp and Freeman's roasts so impactful isn't just their humor. It's their ability to use satire as a tool for political commentary. Satire has always played a critical role in shaping public discourse, particularly when it comes to figures in power. Comedy, after all, has a long history of taking down authority figures, exposing their flaws, and questioning their decisions. In the case of Trump, satire became a necessary weapon in the battle against his increasingly erratic behavior and divisive rhetoric. Depp's jokes about Melania's role as the long-suffering First Lady and Freeman's observations about her strength in standing next to a man who talks louder than God weren't just funny. They were a pointed critique of a presidency that many felt was more about spectacle and self-promotion than public service. Both Depp and Freeman, in their own ways, were peeling back the layers of the Trump administration, exposing its contradictions and forcing the public to question how we view our political leaders. By roasting Melania, they weren't just attacking her, they were shining a light on the absurdity of the political circus that her husband had created. Melania Trump, the silent resilience. What makes Melania Trump's role even more fascinating is how she responds, or rather doesn't respond, to these critiques. While Donald Trump is quick to fire off angry tweets and engage in public feuds, Melania has remained relatively silent in the face of this public mockery. She has never publicly lashed out at Depp, Freeman, or any other celebrity who has made jokes at her expense. Instead, she continues to carry herself with a quiet dignity, often choosing to remain above the fray. Her silence speaks volumes. In a world where public figures are expected to respond to every insult or criticism, Melania's refusal to engage becomes a powerful statement in itself. It's almost as if she has mastered the art of selective silence, choosing when and where to speak out, and when to remain a passive observer. Perhaps, in her silence, Melania is embodying the very essence of resilience, a trait often overlooked in the public eye. Despite the chaos surrounding her husband's presidency, she has maintained an air of grace and composure, a sharp contrast to the endless storm of controversy and conflict that followed Donald Trump's every move. The enduring power of laughter. The ongoing roasts of Melania Trump by Johnny Depp and Morgan Freeman serve as a testament to the power of humor in shaping public opinion. In a time when political discourse is often dominated by anger, division, and vitriol, comedy remains a tool that can both entertain and challenge the status quo. The jokes made by Depp and Freeman may have been biting, but they also offered a sense of release, a way to laugh at the absurdity of it all, while reminding us of the power dynamics at play. As we move forward, one thing is clear. Melania Trump's silence in the face of these roasts only amplifies the message. It's a quiet rebellion against the madness around her, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful weapon against nonsense is not loud resistance, but quiet resilience. The comedy behind the critique. Whether Melania Trump will ever pen a memoir titled How to Survive a Marriage to a Reality Star without losing your sanity remains to be seen, but the idea is undeniably fascinating. In many ways, Melania's journey as First Lady has been one of navigating a public life shaped by her husband's larger-than-life presence. And, as Johnny Depp and Morgan Freeman have shown, the best way to comment on the absurdity of this journey is through humor. By roasting Melania, they've not only entertained us, they've given us the space to laugh, to reflect, and perhaps to reconsider the bizarre spectacle that was the Trump presidency.